So I've been, okay, I'm a dad, and I separated from my children's mother a long time ago. I'm an atheist. She is a born-again Christian.
Ooh, I came from that one.
What caused that?
Yeah, it's complicated.
May I ask what church?
Sorry.
One of those non-denominational Bible churches.
Please tell me Calvary Chapel. Is it Calvary Chapel?
It is, no, oh, that's much too liberal.
What? Maybe you're Calvary Chapel.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No.
Go on.
We're in California, and that church went way deep on the other side. Anyway, so my daughter is 18 and leaving for college at the end of the summer, and she does not know I'm an atheist because when my ex-wife and I separated, we agreed that we were going to raise the children as Christians. We've got 3 total. And now my little girl's going away, and I guess I'm concerned about how to come out to her because my daughter is a Christian, much like her mother, and my 2 sons are not. They're atheists like me. And so I've always supported my children in whatever choices they made. And to be fair, their mother has come a long way as well. You know, years ago, she let the boys get the video game Skyrim, even though it has magic in it, and she was deadly afraid that it was going to bring Satan into the whole thing. And so I feel like I've been, I guess I'm feeling kind of guilty and stuff that I've been, quote, hiding my atheism from her, my daughter.
I would say that's not a, I don't think that you should blame yourself for that at all. I mean, it's always, I can say from personal experience, I've always felt closer to someone when I was able to share a larger aspect of my life with them, but I would say you should feel guilty, you know, when you fail to fulfill an obligation to someone, but I don't think you were necessarily obligated to share that, particularly if you and your now ex-wife agreed to raise them Christian, although I don't know the exact nature. Sorry, when someone's blaming themselves for something that I don't think they should, I always jump in. But
yeah, you had good reason, man.
Yeah, and I guess as you know, the kids are out and doing their own thing, and coming out is difficult, and I think she'll be fine with it. My daughter, that is.
Does she think that you believe at all?
I believe she does. Yeah. I mean, I've tried to engage her on several different. You know, we're free to talk about stuff. You know, political issues and marriage equality and stuff like that. And I tried to get her involved. I tried to do a Bible study with her. She's read all of the Gospels, and I'm like, okay, well, you're interested in Christianity. Let's study together. And so I, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, hey, let's read Acts, the book of Acts together, and then we can talk about it. And then I read like the first 5 chapters and was like, okay, let's talk about it. And she's like, yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And,
well, so actually, do you attend church? Do they attend church? I mean,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my daughter and her mother both go to local Bible church in Santa Cruz, and I do not go with them.
All right. Does she think you go to church at all?
No.
Okay.
So
she may have more of an idea of your level of engagement with Jesus than you think, but, well, okay, so, well, here, I'll let you finish before I jump into coming out as a thing.
Oh, because, well, so we frequently meet over at my sister's house, and my sister is also a born-again Christian, and so is one of her sons. And so I am supportive of them, even though my sister knows that I'm an atheist, and her son does not. And so when they, bring up a problem, I'll say, well, have you taken time to pray about it? Have you taken time to think about it? And I support them that way.
Okay. Is your family asking you to not reveal your godlessness, or?
No.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So that's much more accommodationist than I was when I was in the godless closet. I can tell you, having two separate coming out experiences, one that was let me sit you down and tell you this very important thing about me that's different than what you think, and one being well, I happen to be wearing this bracelet that says something about an atheist community being one of the last, and there's a green section on it, and we use a green screen. Being like one of the last sort of blatant things. Oh, I'm always going to this library. Oh, it's a Freethought Library. Oh, free thinkers. The kind of casually, generally, maybe they have an idea. In the same way that there's lots of parents that when they're raising their kid, ooh, I think my kid might be gay, maybe they're not, whatever, and it sort of gives them a longer period of time to come to terms with something as opposed to a short, sharp shock. But in either case, the person that coming out to is most important is you. It's a decision about you and the way that you relate to the people around you. And ultimately, that's a consideration of them, but it's a consideration of you and your needs as well in your community and family, et cetera. Obviously, I can't tell you what your situation is. You are the person that knows it best. You know your mind the best, hopefully. And so I would say, is your question kind of along the lines of, should you come out to your daughter, and or how, or?
Yeah, I mean, because I don't want to be one of those, I don't want to have one of those family relationships where, 20 years from now, my daughter's going to be asking me to go to, do the blessing of her children or whatever, and baptizing, and wants me to do the baptism or something like that. And I'll be like, yeah, Dad, because I was I was one of the preachers back in the church back in the day, in the 90s. So I came out of religion with their mom. So I don't want to be. So what I'm saying is I don't want to wait 10, 15, 20 years or whatever, and then be like, oh wait, I should have addressed this.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that. Just because it was a specific example you brought up, I'm atheist, my immediate family knows it, and I recently went to my nephew's baptism. Obviously, it's a judgment about your family, and there are people that get kicked out of the house because their parents realize they're questioning their faith at age 16, and their parents are not okay with them living at home, which is, I don't think anything like that which is unacceptable as a behavior, obviously. But I would say, if you're comfortable with it and you believe that your family is comfortable with it and you're not putting yourself at risk, that's definitely something that I would encourage you to think about doing. Obviously, it's your decision. There's risks to it, but I can tell you it's much better to be out. There's also Greta Christina has a book coming out, Atheist. I think I always replace Heathen. Anyway, sorry, you were saying?
No, what I was going to say was, in my experience, it helped at first when I said I don't believe rather than saying atheist, because they needed to come to that concept first. And then I told them that is what an atheist is. Oh no, atheist is this and that. Well, actually, No, you just have a different definition. And another thing that worked for me in the past was just saying, hey, I have a thing that I've been wanting to talk to you about, but I'm worried that it can affect our relationship. I don't want to hold something about me away from the relationship that we have. And so, you know, when you're honest and you open up and you show, hey, I'm afraid, or I love you, and this is not something that would ever change the fact that I love you. You know, when you create that space for vulnerability, it stops being a, this is you and this is me and I'm an atheist and like it or fuck off. You know, it's not one of those things. It becomes a more personal experience that you now need to deal with another human being. It doesn't work that way for everybody. The last thing I would want to do is give advice that would wind up hurting you. You seem like a really awesome guy, but the best that we can do as just regular people is give you our experience.
And you know, my family are regular people, and with the exception of their mother, they're very rational and compassionate.
By the way, Marcus, happy Father's Day.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, go out and hug your dads, guys. Yeah, so we're going out for. My kids are taking me to go see Deadpool. Okay, that's
nice.
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't seen Deadpool yet, so that's what my kids decided to do for me today. And I've been kind of trying the slow walk to I don't believe. When I was having a talk with my daughter, we were talking about where the Bible came from, and I was talking about the Council of Nicaea, and I told her that I rejected the book of Revelation. As being not Christ-like, and because I said I don't see that being consistent with Jesus' message while he was on earth. So Jesus leaves earth, and now he's super rage-filled, and he's going to come back and stomp the shit out of everybody.
Sword for the mouth. Yes.
Dragons.
And eyeball monsters. Leviathan.
Let's do it. Whatever that combination giant scorpion moth.
Oh, that stings people.
Cheetah.
Stings them again and all that. Yeah.
And the tail of a rat, like, I don't know. Crazy.
Well, I was surprised that her church hadn't explained end times to her. And the church also didn't explain how that the absolute law of God, you know, that if anybody sins, you will go to hell. And the mercy of Jesus, which is, I died, you believe in me, and you get to come to the good side. And how did that happen, Emily? To my daughter, and she was like, I'm all. So we went and saw Victor Hugo's play. What is it called? Les Mis. And I tried to explain to her, you know, the law of grace, the law and grace coming together at the cross, and she was like, I'd never heard of this before. I'm like, what church are you going to?
Well, so here's my question: you don't believe you speak to your family members in biblical terms, talking about when Jesus was on earth, and appear to be trying to give your daughter the most biblical theocratic education. So I'm kind of confused where you are as far as raising your daughter and what you're. This is a type of scenario I've not heard of before, because I can tell you I'm not teaching my nieces and nephews.
I have. It's
okay.
Oh, well, I think I understand your question. I'm trying to raise my, to co-parent my children to be the best selves that they can be. And if they're theists, I'm going to support you in that 100%. If you decide that you're going to move to Tibet and become a monk, I'll support you in that. If you're going to be an atheist and an engineer and work with Elon Musk and put some thing in orbit, I'll definitely support that as well.
Yeah. Well, so here's my thing. I'm still at a loss as to why that as a conclusion leads to the specific actions you're taking, because it seems somewhat counterintuitive entirely. I think there's a difference between, yes, I support who you are, and you're not undermining it, and also let me be exasperated at the way the church that you attend is teaching you, because presumably going to that church and learning those lessons in that way would be the actions that your daughter has chosen to take and the life she's chosen. So I'm not sure why you would reinforce the extra doctrinal aspects of the religion rather than encouraging your daughter to learn more and to think clearly.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
I mean, it may just be that I don't understand, which is why I'm asking.
Yeah, now that you put it that way, because what I've been telling myself is I'm going to explain I'm going to explain the real Christianity to you, but do it in I'm doing it in a devious way. Like I'm going to teach you all about the Christianity, and then you're going to dump it like your brothers.
Oh, okay. So your goal in saying, look at the specific doctrine, look at what's in the Bible, is a way of getting her to think about that doctrine and whether or not she accepts it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like, nobody explained to you about the end times, so you don't know that Jesus is going to turn around, become just a rageaholic and just come down and kill everybody. Well, I explained it to her. This is what it is, and this is the book of Revelation, and this is where it says it. And people all over believe that.
Well, they say they believe the book that it's in, that they don't necessarily read it. So I can see where you're coming from in that.
Yeah. I would also, okay, I've been dominating this call like crazy over Eric, but I mean, there's also, I'm not sure how big a reader your daughter is, but there's lots of books about the early history of the church and learning, okay, this is the process by which there were all these various, very different versions of Christianity that had one God or 2 gods or 30 gods or 365 gods, and very different ideas about the creation of the earth and who Jesus was and what was Scripture.
I'm holding the book, the first 7 ecumenical councils, in my hand, and I'm reading it. And I, try and educate her about, how the Bible became, the current Bible that we have, where it came from. Because I don't think anybody ever addressed it. It's like, hey, it wasn't, Jesus died, rose from the dead, went to heaven, Paul got converted, and then boom, we had a Bible, at AD, at 100 B, the Common Era. I guess now what I'm feeling like is I'm being deceptive. Like I'm trying to lead her away, just like Satan would. They try and tempt the child away from the faith.
Well, yeah, she is 18.
Yeah, she's an adult, right?
Yeah, it's different, in the approach that you give because she is that age. Yeah. She's only going to take so much. But then again, that also underlies that whole, coming at it as a human, and including that human element, the worry, the fear, the concern, and the care, and to be okay with being open, when you talk to her. But again, take our advice with a grain of salt. Neither of us are therapists or people who have kids.
Yeah, I'm basically coming to you because you guys are about my daughter's age. You're like, in your early 20s, look like.
Aw, Marcus, I like you a lot now.
So, I mean, I just wanted to. I hate to say this. I wanted a child's perspective on this.
He thinks of you as a child.
I'm turning 31 at the beginning.
Just a number. You're still a child.
Thanks.
I was supposed to hide that under a cough. Sorry,
Thanks.
I did that wrong order.
You fuck. All right, Marcus, we're going to move on to the next call, but thank you so much for calling in. And please, if you're comfortable with letting us know what happened, we'd love to follow up.
Call in again, write in again. Yeah. Also, nothing wrong with learning that there are other religions and that they also have a history and that that era at that time had a strong storytelling tradition, and so having people tell a bunch of stories and then later having an organized church try. Well, yeah, sorry. Thank you for calling in.
Okay, thanks for hearing me out, guys. It's nice to have somebody about this office.
Absolutely. You take care, all right, man?
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.